just putting you on a beautiful cloud where they can take you wherever you want to go today to get the best information for the highest and greatest good. And when they stop moving you, what do you see around you?
Okay, so I don't get these funny images when I go on the cloud, but this one I am. The cloud's kind of like shaped like one of those little carts, the cars that you can race in a little racetrack, like at the family event center. So the cloud looks like that little race car. And sitting next to me is a Sasquatch.
Oh, he finally gets to come in today. He found his way in.
Yeah, so he has like his arm over the side of it, like where the door is, and he's like, "What's up?"
Where does
Oh,
he
my.
want to take you today?
Okay, so he's taking me somewhere in the forest, and it starts off like a triangle, and I see the branches around, like it's like a fort, and the triangle's the way in. And he says that it's a portal into his den.
So, is this somewhere on Earth?
Yes, but a different dimension.
Beautiful. So, once you're there, once he takes you there, what do you see around you?
But he's just like showing me all of his cool knickknacks of stuff that they've collected from things they've found. Like it's almost like it's around his walls, and showing me like that there's like a fire going inside. It's very nice and cozy, but he says like this is why that humanity can't see them, is because they're in a different dimension. And so they're able to use the constructs of the third dimension to create safety. So it may look like something like a bunch of trees gathered on the 3D Earth, but what they're using that structures for on a different dimension. So the structures of the tree surrounding them is still like their walls, but it's a different dimension. So they integrate where they're at with the constructs of this earthly dimension.
So, how are they able to be in a higher dimension on Earth?
So there's different planes of dimensions within the earth realm, the earth matrix.
And what is Carrie's connection to the Sasquatch?
They're saying that like in the Octurian self, like one of those lifetimes, like she worked with them. So she worked with their collective as like they had a project together, and it was something to do with tending the earth. Like it wasn't this, was it this earth? They said yes, it was this earth, but it wasn't like I wasn't incarnated as a physical being. Like I was energetically working with them to tend to this earth.
So, how come some people can see the Sasquatch?
Well, they are physical beings. So they're physical beings that um like they're very intentional when they're seen, but if like they're showing me like a fire, something happened where they had to evacuate really quickly, and when they did so, like their body physically was, they weren't able to leave this dimension, and so they were able to be seen as density because they weren't able to switch out of that. But like they're showing like normally it's like there's a dial on their chest, I guess, is what they're kind of showing me. And they just tune that dial into the dimension they want to be in, and their body physically can be there. And it's almost like there's cloaking that happens. And they go into a different dimension. So if they're not attuned to that dimension right away or find a portal into that dimension, they cloak themselves. So it's like a reflective mirror around their presence. So there's still density within this realm, but it reflects back so you can't see them. Like it would play tricks with your eyes to be able to see them.
So can they explain to us how cloaking works? So what is cloaking?
They're saying it's like they're showing me like a chameleon and stuff, but it's like you become a chameleon in a way that like the energy around you changes so it's not dense, but you're reflecting the imagery around you. So it's not like you go anywhere. It's like you tune into a reflection of the picture around you.
So when we cloak ourselves, can other people not see us, or how exactly does it work?
No, they can't see you. Now, if they were to measure you with tools, they'd be able to measure your density and they'd be able to see, or like a heat signature if you um, put off any heat. But they would be able to measure your existence there, but they wouldn't be able to see you with the optical eye.
So what can we do to start practice cloaking?
Like you could even, if you wanted to imagine like kind of like that Harry Potter cape, like you can imagine like putting that cape around you energetically and reflecting like a disco ball, but not fractaled like that, but reflecting back the world. They said that you can do this for energetic protection too. So like if you're empathic in a lot of nature, that you can, instead of you absorbing that energy, you can start by putting that cloak around you for the reflection of, for them to see what they are putting out in the universe. So instead of you taking it on, so like someone is having a bad day and they tend to take that out on others, and you're like, I'm tired of taking their, their shit basically. And you can say, okay, I'm going to protect my energy space, hold the space in love, and cloak myself to, when they try to put their bad day on me, it's going to bounce back like a mirror and project onto them. And they're going to have to look at their own actions and deal with their own bad day. And so it's like you start doing that energetically. And once you start doing that enough, then you can start working with that to manipulate the actual matter around you. And it's like um, your aura. You can create this beautiful mirror around your aura so that it physically, optically will reflect the energy around you. And you'll be reflective of all the energy and matter around you.
So is this something that all people can do, or is it this somebody's specific superpower that they came into this life with?
So everyone has the potential. However, there are predominant like people that are like their DNA structure and their abilities, and depending on where they are in their, sorry, Carrie's releasing energy, depending where they're at in their path of enlightenment. But yeah, you're kind of picked for it, but you have the capabilities if you work on it. It's
Amazing.
like, yeah, it's like shape shifting is what they're telling me. It's like shape shifting. Like, there are beings that automatically can do it, and then there are beings that it's just like you may or may not master it in one lifetime.
So what did the Sasquatch want to tell us today?
He's got this beautiful smile, and he's just, he's of love. They're of love. They really do love working with Gaia, and they love, like, he's showing me some imagery from the top of a mountain, and it's just this beautiful, just staring out at the sky. When I tap into their energy, they're so in tune with nature, and they are so in tune with that harmony of everything to do with nature. And they just like, she's got this big smile of just looking out at the sky from the mountaintops, and just everything's fine. Everything's beautiful in their world. Like they have no need for anything. There's no drive or like need for things, or it's just they just are encompassing that harmony. And there's like everything's connected. They realize the connectivity, like everything's connected. And they realize when, like, because I always thought, well, they eat other animals, they eat deer. And they're like, yes, but we have an understanding with the deer, and we have a respect of how we do it. And we understand that their life is going to nurture ours. And there, it's not this, horrible thing. And they just love their family. Like they're very big in family and the packs. And um there are some of their kind that, are depending on where they're at geographically and what tribe, like they run by tribes. So that's why they look so different, is they have different Sasquatch tribes. But some tribes are not as have not seen kindness from humanity and have seen some bad things from humanity. So they like to stay away, and they'll try to like scare humanity away from their areas. Like they really just want their space. But they said for the most part, like, the tribes do love humanity, and they have relationships with interdimensional beings. They have relationships with extraterrestrial beings, galactic beings. Like they're saying we're brothers, we're sisters. Like he's showing me he's on a ship, and it's like no big deal. He's just smiling and waving, like, "Hey, I'm on a ship." Um, they're just it's just a very beautiful to be in their space is beautiful.
So, where did the Sasquatch come from? Are they from a different planet?
There are other Sasquatch beings on other planets, but they were designed for this planet.
So, what was the role of the Sasquatch in our human evolution?
So I'm asking them if they are unaltered, and because that's been a question of mine. They said, yeah, we are the original um, human being, unaltered. Like we had more of an elemental, like a DNA, but we were, if humanity had not been altered and tampered with, that would have been the natural, like they were originals, like that would have been the natural pathway of evolution.
So, who was the first collective to alter their DNA?
To alter humanities.
To alter, so from my understanding, like the Pleiadians are the Pleiadians and the Arcturians kind of work together to put this being here, and then more collectives came afterwards to tamper with the genetics so that we would be a melting pot of all these different collectives. So what was the Anunnaki the one that really changed their genetics the most?
Yes, because they wanted to. So like the Sasquatch evolved to be able to travel dimensionally, and to, like, that was a part of the evolution. Like this natural evolution. Like they grew to be able to access and perfect those skills, right? So um they were born with the capabilities like all open to be able to evolve. So what happened is it was taking too long, and the Anunnaki thought if they brought some of their DNA along with the evolution, that would speed up humanity's evolution to be able to do things like that, but it did not do that. It actually caused more DNA interference that um, was not helpful in the ascension process. He said, "Don't worry, that's just you releasing energy." um, yeah, so it was very interesting. Like the Anunnaki was just like impatient, and then they thought they were helping.
So are the Sasquatch upset that the Anunnaki manipulated their DNA to try and create a slave race?
They're not upset. They're like here holding their hearts open. Like they really just want to see humanity come back to that place of just love and harmony. They're not upset. They're in the what they're upset, like they're showing me the one tribe is upset with the results of the actions that have taken place to disrespect Gaia, to disrespect their home, to disrespect the harmony. It's like he's showing me like he's this giant beast, but he has this little tiny bird on his finger. And he's like, to disrupt my friend's home. Like he's just the seeing of what the destruction of the planet Gaia has been. It has hardened some of their tribes' hearts. And they're saying, but they know humanity has the capability and they can feel the shift. They're here like supporting that energy of humanity coming back to that place of harmony and love and balance and empowerment. And they're saying sovereignty, you're sovereign, you're work in unison with all around you, with all of the trees, with all of nature, with the ants, with the dirt, with the air, they're showing me fire, water, everything works together. And that is where they really are holding space for humanity to come back to.
Are the Sasquatch related to the giants at all?
No. I mean, there's DNA interrelation between like um they're saying because like they used a lot of the same things kind of with the constructions of the avatars, the bodies of everything. Like there's a lot of similarities to be able to be here on Earth, but they're not of the same collective.
Perfect. Do they have any other messages for us?
Hmm. He said, we are one. We are unity. We are love. We are harmony. We are heartbeat of Gaia.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
So we have actually been wanting to speak with Gaia. Are we able to call her in today?
Yes, I'm here.
Amazing. I love you, Gaia.
And I love you.
So why, first of all, was it your decision to ascend to the fifth dimension?
Yes.
And can you just explain that to me a little bit more? Um, like why did you feel like it was time for you to ascend?
It's because the cycles of humanity have gone on and on and on. And I've been here providing the shell and the experience for humanity to have those cycles. And it is time for humanity to evolve as well as myself. I would like to go on and evolve and to embody the fifth dimensional planet and embody the fifth dimensional frequencies within. It is my time to evolve. I've endured enough and um, of the cycles, and um, it has been one of joy and one of love and one of beauty, but it also has been one of what I have experienced destruction and toxins and poisons. And they've all been purposeful and they have all been great tools that have been used to assist humanity in their evolution. And I had the contracts with the seven tribes to be able to uh, have this project and to experience this as an earth vessel, as a galactic or an earth vessel. And so now it is time for me to expand into the fifth dimension where I can learn new lessons, where I can embody new things in my world that I would like to embody.
Okay, so I have a question. So I've heard two different perspectives. I've heard the perspective that to Earth, like she knows we're here, but if anything, like we're just kind of like fleas that she could shake off if she wanted to. And then I've also heard that like she deeply hurts and feels what humanity is feeling. What perspective do you feel? Like, do you feel connected to humans directly?
So it is just like the tip of your finger. If you were to injure the tip of your finger, you would become consciously aware that your tip of your finger was there, right? Because it was beating and it was throbbing. So when you're not having an injury at the tip of the finger, you don't really have conscious awareness that it's there, except when you're trying to grab thing or placing your consciousness there. So humanity for me is like that example. Like I am very conscious and aware that humanity is existing, but until I hone in my energy to certain things, I don't sometimes embody that frequency and understanding that of what they're specifically doing. I have an awareness that humanity is there. You have an awareness that the tip of your fingernail is there. But until humanity starts hurting and there becomes an injury, comes when I become consciously aware in a way that it is in my now and here moment of awareness. And humanity has been at so many different cycles of their events where collectively they have been hurting. So then if you imagine them surrounding my entire earth surface and all of humanity hurting, now I'm going to be feeling that all over my earth surface. Going to start feeling that in a way that's because I can tap in and feel, and my consciousness is going to those places. But I also can feel when humanity is feeling good too.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask. So my entire life, I felt very disconnected from the earth, and now I feel very connected. When one person makes that connection, do you feel it?
Yes.
So right now, with the way that humanity is evolving, does it just like feel like so much more love is available?
Yes, the more and more humanity is grounding, becoming aware, they're connecting with the elements of me, and then they're raising their frequency. They're helping in connecting with me, and we're working together, and we're supporting one another, and it makes me feel good too.
Why is it so important for us to connect with the Schumann resonance?
Because it's the natural frequency of the harmony of Earth. So the Schumann resonance is what is like a heartbeat of Earth. It is the it's like you're tuning into the frequency of the experience you want to have here. If your frequency is off and it's not in balance with the frequency of my frequency, then it's like it's showing Carrie like the jagged edges. Like it's a very like a disruptive experience. It's not in harmony.
Okay, so I was watching an interview the other day that said that we are the AI of the mineral realm. So it's like we are just like mud and water and earth with consciousness projected into it. How do you feel about that perspective?
I mean, that's a perspective. If you want to imagine that you're mud and earth and water having that, then so be it. And but that is not the case. You are made up of elements. You are made up of carbon-based elements, like your periodic table, and you are made up of things from the stars as well, from other galactic elements. So, however you want to say what you are projecting yourself having a consciousness, like I'm not going to tell you one way or another, but what I'm going to tell you is that you're not a you're not mud having an experience. Mud is having an experience.
Okay, perfect. So, what messages do you have for the collective today?
The collective and anyone listening is that I understand that there are certain collectives that still want to have an experience here within my vessel and to are afraid of what the jumping to that next step of evolution entails. But I'm here to share with you that I appreciate you honoring my free will to make this decision to go, and that you are all stepping into your power to take this journey with me as well. And for those who are not, that reassured that your teams are have your life contract in mind and consideration in what this next journey of the stage looks like for you. But my I would love if we could all get there together, and I would love if you could all feel empowered to get there with me. But I also understand that I do not feel guilt in being able to consciously make this decision for myself to elevate. And I understand that you will all be taken care of. And I just want to tell you all that are doing your inner work and are going on this journey with me, that I just look forward to this next step of evolution. And I look forward to being able to support you on this next dimension.
Gaia, when you were planning your next incarnation, did you have any idea of the experiment that Earth would turn into eventually?
The experiment was never supposed to be, it was not supposed to end the way it was, and we've made modifications along the way in conjunctions with the collectives. But I had an understanding of like the baseline of what it was, the imagery of what like the goal was.
So just a fun question. So I know that you're stuck in a specific orbit, but do you get to like hang out and talk to other planets?
So, like when you go into your sleep state, you're able to go and to have these experiences within your sleep state. I'm able to go into a meditative state and have those same experiences with other consciousnesses of other planets.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool to imagine Gaia astral projecting.
Just set the intention, come with me one day.
Beautiful. Do you have anything else that you'd like to say?
No, just my friend the Sasquatch is here too, and he's smiling and he's just happy and grateful that he could come and take me to his little den and show me all of his fun little knickknacks. And Guy is just like with him, just loving him and the harmony that they have together.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.